Way in to Angela, but I call her Yee.
Way up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee. My girl Jasmine Brand.
Good morning.
Is here with me from the Jasmine Brand. And we have a special guest host today, which I'm excited about. My guy Chris Witherspoon. You know him as the CEO of Pop Viewers, but we see him all over the place. CNN, Fandango, MSNBC, doing huge interviews with some of the biggest stars in entertainment, movies, film, and all of that. Chris Witherspoon is here with us.
What an intro.
I mean, what an intro. I feel so blessed to be here right now. Thank you for having me, Ange. I'm the biggest fan of both of you.
Oh,
and I feel like this is a life event for me. You know, I've interviewed Oprah a few different times. This is bigger than Oprah.
Don't do that.
No, for real.
Hold on,
I am for real.
Hold on,
You're
Chris.
the Oprah of radio. Yes, I feel it. I feel
Chris
it.
said Angela is the Oprah of radio. I know that's
In my
right.
heart, that's what I feel. That's what I feel.
I love it.
I just want y'all to know I didn't say that.
Yes,
I did not
Chris
tell him to
Witherspoon said that. Come to me with
Chris
that.
said Angela Yee is the Oprah of radio. I know that's right.
Blazing all the trails.
To me, though, I've been wanting to get Chris up here, and I told him as soon as I knew this show was happening, because I feel like he's such an expert, right, in things that I like to bring in people that know more than me in different fields. Just like yesterday, we were talking about the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank.
So crazy.
Yeah.
Right, and we had Art Hogan on to talk about that.
That was a good conversation, too.
That was a great conversation, but for you, Chris, because you know so much when it comes to movies, film, entertainment, all of that, you know, that's a special type of skill. And the people you've interviewed, Viola Davis, Will Smith, Oprah several times. Tom Hanks, people like that. I mean, come on.
Come on, name
So
drop.
it's an honor to have you here with us.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here, and I feel like TV and the film and TV industry is changing so much, and it really does impact how we view life. The stories that we're seeing in these shows and in these movies, it's bigger than just storytelling. So I'm happy to be in this business, and I'm happy to be here as an expert in that space.
Well, thank you.
Also, Chris smells amazing. Go ahead,
does?
Angela.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, we are going to start the show off with shining a light. I feel like we just shine all kind of lights on Chris. And
We did.
I'm here to receive it, though.
No, you should. Honestly, this is great for us. And I know you'll be visiting Way Up with Angela Yee frequently.
Yes.
Every time the Oscars just happened.
He's bopping over here, guys. I wish you
He
could
likes
see.
the Way Up song.
He
Shout
does.
out to Plies.
Yeah, shout out to Pete.
All right. So now it's time for y'all to shine a light. 800-292-5150. You see how good we all feel just now? Everybody's shining a light on everybody. You're amazing too, Jasmine.
Thanks,
by the
Oprah.
way, with the Jasmine brand.
Thanks, Oprah.
She
Oprah.
really
Oprah Yee.
hating on me.
I love it. No.
Y'all calling 800-292-5150. Shine a light on somebody doing something positive.
Turn your lights on, y'all.
Turn your lights on.
Spreading love to those who are doing greatness.
Shine a light on them. Shine a light on them.
It's time to shine a light on them.
Yes, what's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. My girl Jasmine Brand is here with me.
Good morning.
Chris Witherspoon, who is the CEO of Pop Viewers, and we're going to talk about that
Yes.
a little later. But right now we are shining a light, and Chris is guest hosting with us this morning. And y'all going to love this, by the way. His energy is amazing, and he is a wealth of knowledge.
Yes, he is. And I wish I could see this bop, this shoulder thing he's doing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this music, I don't know how y'all don't move.
Ain't
I'm
even
ready
had
to
no
drop
coffee.
it and pop it and drop it, all of it.
He
Pick
has
it
no
up.
coffee yet or anything.
Nope.
This is natural high.
natural.
Okay.
But this is where we shine a light on somebody who has done something positive. Okay? Is anybody you want to shine a light on before we get to it?
No.
What?
Angela, why you didn't ask me this off air so I could prepare?
All right, well, what about you, Chris? Anybody you want to say something positive about who's done something great for you in your life?
Let me think. Someone's done something great for me. I think my son.
I was just about to tell. I was going to throw you the sun.
I feel like he is so hyped about me being here right now. We play Power 105 in the car all the time. It's like he
And
puts
he's
me on to
11,
all
right?
he's 11, and he is the biggest fan of yours, and he thinks I am the coolest dad right now.
Okay.
For sitting in this chair. He almost got out of school today. I was like, nope, buddy, you don't get to do that. No.
You're like, slow down. It's a podcast, too. You can hear it later.
You can listen when you get out of school.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay, there we go.
I love that. That's so sweet.
What's his name?
His name is Andres.
Andres.
Yes.
Andres. We like to shine a light on you, baby. All right. Well, who do you guys want to shine a light on? 800-292-5150 is the number. James.
Hey, Angela, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Listen, I want to shine a light on Impressive Fencing in Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
A young man by the name of Dante Hardeman. He started a fencing company, single parent, and his company is called Impressive Fencing. He does a lot of work for the elderly as well.
Oh, nice.
That's amazing. Okay.
Yeah,
What's it called one more time?
It's called Impressive Fencing.
Okay. Impressive Fencing.
Yes, and his number is 904-469-6067.
And did you go there or?
Yes, I did. He done a wonderful job.
Okay, we love to hear it, and you know firsthand.
Very impressive.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Shamira, who do you want to shine a light on?
Hi, I want to shine a light on my husband, Quan.
Okay, Quan.
He's just an overall amazing person, an amazing dad. My baby just had a procedure today for surgery. We're on the way home, and everything was a success today. So I just want to shine a light on him.
Yeah, sounds it's just good spirits too, and that is a blessing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. What's up, Stephanie? Who do you want to shine a light on?
I want to shine a light on my bonus mom. Her name is Ebony Harris. The CEO of Youth Empowerment Success Services.
Okay.
She's your bonus mom?
Yes.
What's her name again?
Ebony Harris.
Ebony Harris. And how did your blended family come together?
Well, she's married to my dad. She's been married to my dad for like 28 years.
Oh, nice.
I love that.
Yeah.
People could get along. Was it easy in the beginning, or was it a little tough?
It was always easy because she's always been there since I was a baby.
Okay. All right, we love that.
I love that, yeah.
Well, shout out to bonus moms out there, all of them, doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yes, and that was Shine a Light on them. We do that every single morning. 800-292-5150 is the number. And, of course, if you can't get through, you can always leave a message for the last words. When we come back, we got Yeetie, and we'll be talking about the Oscars. According to the executive producer, they had to cut a lot of the Will Smith jokes. We'll give you more info on Way Up with Angela Yee.
Way up.
Just like to talk like they Angela Yee,
Man, she's spilling it all. This is Yee T. Way up.
Yes, it's Way Up with Angela Yee, and I have Jasmine Brand here with me.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, and our special guest host, Chris Witherspoon, who we're so excited to have.
Thank you for having me, and happy Tuesday.
Make sure y'all look up Pop Viewers, and this is your expertise right here. So let's talk about the Oscars. So one of the executive producers and also the wife to the host, Jimmy Kimmel, Molly McNerney, was talking about why some Will Smith jokes were pulled from the ceremony. There were some jokes that were made. Listen to this.
Want you to have fun. We want you to feel safe. And most importantly, we want me to feel safe. So we have strict policies in place. If anyone in this theater commits an act of violence at any point during the show, you will be awarded the Oscar for Best Actor and permitted to give a 19-minute long speech. No, but seriously, the Academy has a crisis team in place. If anything unpredictable or violent happens during the ceremony, just do what you did last year. Nothing.
All right. Well, Molly McNerney said that her husband did not go harder because they didn't want to make this year all about last year. She told Variety, "I cannot tell you how many Will Smith jokes we had that we then got rid of. We think that only the best for that room made it. There were certainly some that went harder, but we didn't think that was our place to do that. That should be Chris Rock, not us." But they didn't want to ignore it altogether. What did you guys think?
I felt like the jokes were fair. I felt like it wasn't too hard.
Yeah, I felt like they went a little light, in comparison to what I was expecting Jimmy Kimmel to do throughout the night. But I kept thinking to myself that just last week we had Chris Rock do an hour special where those last 5 minutes really rocked social media, rocked the media world. And I think that Molly and Jimmy, as they were getting ready to prepare last week, they probably thought, that didn't turn out that well,
right.
for Chris
It
Rock.
kind of made things turn on Chris Rock.
It really did.
It's interesting that he dropped
did.
it right before the Oscars. Sidebar,
Yes.
Kimmel's wife is the EP of the Oscars.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
I know that's right.
Interesting.
Okay.
Come on, family.
All right, you better hire your husband.
Yeah, but I think that it was the right move for him not to go too
Right.
in on
Yeah.
Will
Because
Smith.
it's also like, let's celebrate. We're celebrating.
Yeah.
It is supposed to be a celebration.
Absolutely.
And let's focus on this year.
And the Academy is really trying to kind of, revamp and I think make themselves look good after what went wrong last year. Because it was really, the train went off the tracks, period.
Yeah.
Period.
And they really didn't do anything. They just
No,
everybody
that's what
kinda
he
sat there
That's what
like,
he said.
I
He
know.
was like,
And you kinda
no one
can't
will do
ignore it.
anything.
Yeah.
All right, now Diddy is looking to get a majority stake in BET as Paramount is putting that network up for sale. There's a lot of people bidding for this, though, by the way. Tyler
Yeah.
Perry is trying to do it, Byron Allen, and more people are contending for that. So, and then, he also has Revolt.
It would be nice if they did it together, right?
Because I feel like then what happens with Revolt? Do you put everything together?
I was thinking the same thing.
Well, I was saying Tyler Perry, Byron Allen, and Diddy it would be a nice little trio if they combined forces and and took over together.
Feels like they're competing with each other.
Yeah,
though.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure
But
they
do
are.
you all know, is BET making a lot of money right now, or are they somehow in danger? Is that why folks are trying to buy them, or is it like some kind of a prize pony right now?
I don't know.
It's not my
Tyler
ministry,
Perry
I
has a
don't know.
lot of
My
shows on
ministry.
there. BET Plus, I did watch the Monique movie
Okay,
on there.
okay.
What was it called? The Reading? Was that what it was called?
I don't
Yeah,
remember.
The Reading.
I heard it was amazing.
Listen,
I missed that one.
It was good. I love a horror movie.
Do
though.
you have BET Plus?
I do have it.
Can I get your
Yes,
subscription?
you
Okay,
can.
I ain't got
Jasmine
it.
has it.
Did you just add it
I
on
really
air?
did.
Did you just
I
ask
really
on
did.
air to use her
I really
password
did.
for
Diddy,
BT
don't
Plus?
get mad at
Jasmine asked
me.
me behind the scenes. At
Oh,
least.
no,
You are such a hater.
I just keep it 100.
I do want to say all my streaming services at home has a different name on it because I got everybody's.
Hold on. First of all, a lot of them are mine, Angela.
Come on.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you lightweight live in my house.
I'm
There
a
we go.
squatter.
There we go.
I am
So,
squatting.
Relax.
I'm
But
curious
yes.
what could be a change we could see to BET if someone like a Tyler Perry or a Diddy were to buy it. Like, what are the changes that we want to see to a BET?
Yeah, because
as
look
black
at
folks?
like is Revolt making money right now too?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. I don't know.
And I also feel like whatever networks do, they also have to do a lot online and streaming also in
Oh,
order
yeah.
to compete because you
Yeah.
can't just be.
No, BET Plus is the future of BET.
Right.
And
Yeah,
they
exactly.
have to know that.
You're right
you
there.
know?
You're right about that.
All right, well, that is your Yee Tea. And when we come back, we have About Last Night. That's when we talk about some things that we got into last night. And we have some fun stuff to talk about with y'all. So, About Last Night is way up with Angela Yee.
So, about last night. Last night. Here's how it went down.
Yes, it's way up with Angela Yee. I'm here with Jasmine Brand.
Good morning.
You know her from the Jasmine Brand. And then Chris Witherspoon. He is the CEO and founder of Pop Viewers, but you've also seen him on the Many-ish show on CNN, on Fandango, MSNBC, interviewing people like Tom Hanks, Oprah Winfrey, Viola Davis, everybody.
I've been around, you guys. I've been around.
He gets around.
I've been
Yes.
around you
You can
guys.
download Pop Viewers today in the Apple App Store. That is my new baby, my new sort of like focus right now. It's
And tell
happening.
people what Pop Viewers is because I think it's an amazing concept.
Yeah, so it's a place where you guys can go to discover new shows, new movies, and more importantly, react to what you're watching. And our goal right now is to kind of really bridge the audience sentiment with the studios. So studios understand what people are watching,
Okay.
not just how many millions of folks people are watching shows, but why people are watching shows in various films. We can kind of incorporate the viewers into the content that they see in the future.
You
That's
know,
our
it's
goal right
interesting
now.
because depending on because sometimes you see stuff that gets great reviews and you're like,
Who
I
are
don't
these
connect.
people that are-
And then
yeah.
you see something that is a classic for us.
Yes.
And it doesn't get good reviews and you're like, who is reviewing these movies? So it kind of gives us the power to say, I like this. I was watching The Best Man Final Chapters.
So
and
good.
So
remember,
good.
they had adapted his, and this is my About Last Night because I watched the whole thing at once.
Right.
And anyway,
Wait, you watched the whole series in
Yeah,
one time?
I did.
Oh my
She
God.
binged
I
watched
binged it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was good. And so
stamina,
remember
though.
he had turned the book into a movie. And his reviews were like terrible.
Right.
Yep.
Right. But she was like, oh, it's amazing. You saw what people were like when they were in the theater watching it. And so many times I feel like it could be something that doesn't get great reviews, but
It's good.
who's reviewing
And
it?
it sounds like what you have is kind of helps with the disconnect.
Yeah, I feel like so many of our content, our shows and our movies for Black people, by Latin, Americans, our content oftentimes critics don't know how to really access. So you will see Black content that have low scores on Rotten Tomatoes or low scores
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
critics aggregates, but at the end of the day, we are still watching this
We're
content.
like, this is a classic.
You know, I was watching Love After Lockup to get ready for today. I know y'all watched that show. So last night after I finished,
That is Angie's jam.
yes,
You hear the fight?
yes, it is so
Oh, man.
good. But at the end
Shout
of the
out to
day,
Derek and Monique.
I know critics and major, writers for big publications writing those kind of shows, but a lot of us are watching those shows.
Yes,
So for
yes.
me, Pop Viewers is a way for us to bring diverse communities together and show the power of us coming together and watching
I
content.
love the
and
research that
interacting
you
with
did was
content.
watching Love After
That was my
Lockup.
job. I was like, you know what?
That's
They
if you
had
wanna-
Monique on.
If you want to guest host on Angela Yee's show,
You need to watch. Yep.
You must.
Yep. That was my job last night.
But I'm gonna keep it real. A lot what I watch is also because if I see something that's trending,
yes,
or that everybody's posting and talking about, I'm like, let me get into this because I also want to make sure I'm up on what everybody else is watching so that I feel like I can talk about it.
Listen, how many of the Oscar nominees did you watch? Not that many,
what did
right?
We say?
None.
I was trying to watch one last night.
We tried it.
What really is the power right now, you guys, is word of mouth. As I'm talking to the studios, I'm explaining to them that like that word of mouth cosign from a friend, from someone that you know and trust, is so much more powerful than critics coming together and saying Tar or Oh, It's Quiet on the Western Front or The Banshees of Inisherin are the top films of the year. It's really about what people are watching and meeting folks where they are, and that's what we do at Pop Viewers.
Right. All right. Well, and shout out to Act Your Age on Bounce TV. That was the most watched half-hour series debut they ever have, with over 2.14 million viewers.
It was really funny.
Yeah, it's great.
But it shows the power of the black and brown consumer. We are powerful.
Now, one thing I wanted to talk about, because you discussed your son earlier, is Tyler Perry.
Right.
And he was on Michelle Obama's The Light podcast, and he talked about disciplining his 8-year-old son. He was discussing how the nanny was telling him to brush his teeth. He didn't want to brush his teeth, and he kind of was going in on the nanny.
And I got down eye to eye, and I was talking to him, and I was like, listen to me. You are not going to be this way. We love you. We are your parents. You will not behave this way. We taught you better than this. And I'm talking to him, and I'm starting to get emotional. And he said, I'm sorry, Papa. I'm sorry. He brushed his teeth. He did all those things. But I went out on the balcony. I was in tears because I realized that nobody had ever got down and talked to me eye to eye. So to have a moment that I had a chance to have a conversation with a child who is my spitting image, I was not only correcting and leading him the right way, but helping my own little boy inside of me heal.
Yes, because he talked about getting beat all the time, growing up.
Yeah.
And I know this was something that struck a chord with you, Chris, in particular. You have an 11-year-old son, and we're going to talk about that. 800-292-5150. Disciplining your child, how you were disciplined growing up, and how that affects how you parent. Right. I want to see what you guys think as well. Call us up, 800-292-5150.
Going way up, turn up with Angela Yee.
Yes, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. And I'm here with my girl, Jasmine from the Jasmine brand, and Chris Witherspoon, CEO of Pop Viewers. Make sure y'all download that app. And we're talking about Tyler Perry and disciplining his 8-year-old son with compassion. Now, I know for you, Chris, this really struck a chord. You have an 11-year-old.
Yes. Yeah, listening to this story, I thought it was so profound that he didn't say that he spanked his child. You know, my son is 11. We have not spanked him yet.
Okay.
His mother, who's my good best friend, we went half on a baby. We said we were not going to spank our son. Now, I was spanked. like for any old reason and like on a regular basis. But I think one of the things that I kind of realized is like when you spank a child, sometimes you take away the ability to have a conversation around what really happened.
Okay.
Understand what they were feeling. And I think what Tyler Perry did is an example of what we see so many other parents from the other side of the tracks do, which is like understand why their child did what they did.
Have a conversation.
Okay. You know, and I feel like I didn't get a chance to do that. And in therapy right now, I do a lot of therapy. It's not so much me being in trauma over the spankings. It's more about like learning how to use my voice and express what I'm feeling and how there wasn't always space to do that in my home as a child.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, because I got spanked a lot as a child. And Jasmine,
all the time.
Yeah. It'd be like, who left the cap off the toothpaste? I'd be like, and it was me and my brother. So it was, if he got a spanking, I did. And if I did, he did. So I already knew. Yeah, if he got in trouble, I was in trouble.
Oh my gosh.
Did you get spanked?
It used to be like when he was getting spanked, I would laugh behind my dad's back. But then I was like, oh, I'm next.
Yep.
Oh,
no, I got spanked. My brother and I got spanked all the time. Like together, 2 years apart.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
What about you, Jasmine?
I got spanked a little bit. Not a lot. I was kind of scared of my mom. Like she could like yell at me or look at me and it kind of scared me. I got a few, like more so when I was little, like, you know, all the way up until 5. And then it kind of stopped and she would just kind of, you know.
Now as a parent though, because you do have a daughter. She's not 2 yet.
Right. Rain is almost 2. I might later on pop her.
Okay.
Like I might pop her, but I'm going to try to talk to her. Because right now I grab her face and be like, hey, no biting. Because she likes
to bite.
Yeah, she gets upset when she'll bite her grandmother. I'd be like, no, we don't.
You either hit their little hand, you be like, pow, pow.
Yeah, pow, pow.
And then they be like, no, pow, pow.
I grab her face and I look her in the eye and I'm like, we don't do that. And then she won't look at me in my eyes. So I know she knows what the heck
is going on. When she gets a little older, she gonna laugh at you.
Well, then maybe.
But the worst used to be when I get spanked in front of my friends.
Can you imagine?
I can't believe that happened to you because that would be awful. PTSD for me right now.
It's so embarrassing. And then your friends be feeling so bad for you, like they don't want to look at you.
So Angela, you got spanked in front of your friends.
Yes. And this is when I started going to private school. So, you know, the white kids, they were not getting a spanking.
Right.
And so I remember I got spanked in front of my friend and she was horrified.
Horror. Angela, what age were you when the spanking stopped?
I was probably like maybe I was like 15.
That's kind of old, I feel.
No, I think they stopped for me around 5th grade. 5th grade,
Yeah, no, I was
6th
older.
grade.
You were about to be driving.
What were you doing at 15 to get spanked? Do you remember?
Nothing. No, I'm kidding. Like if I was on the phone too long, like get off the phone, and stuff like that. But yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's see what you guys have to say about these spankings that Tyler Perry was talking about. He's disciplining his 8-year-old son. He does not spank his son. He talks to him and has him explain things with compassion, something he wished he would have had the space to do when he was growing up and he was getting beatings all the time. Let's see who is on the line. Kwane, what's your thoughts on disciplining your kids or being disciplined growing up?
Oh, my God. So when I was growing up, my mom used to whip me for, like, everything. Like, if I would fold my dress
Chris
after
said
she
same.
ironed it, it's like, nobody's going to teach you common sense. You got to have it. Or, if I said a curse word, I would have to write it 100 times, knew what it meant, what language, the dialect it came from. But she whooped me for, like, everything. Now, raising my daughter, I barely spank her, probably once a year. But what I notice the difference is I have character, I have strength, I know common sense. My daughter lacked in those areas, maybe because I'm not spanking her. But I knew also I didn't have an opinion. So now I allow my daughter to speak. How you feeling? Do you agree with why I'm yelling at you? Things of that sort. Back in the day, you didn't have a choice. You did what your parents said.
You just had to shut up.
That was that. And this is not very long ago because I'm 27, but my daughter is 12. So my mom raised me young, but she had that old school lecturing.
So you think the beatings helped you?
She's saying yeah.
Absolutely.
So Kwane, why have you decided to not beat your daughter?
Beat is strong.
Because my mom did the most.
Okay.
Her mom did
Like,
too much.
it was like kind of traumatic in ways, but the things, the qualities that I have, my daughter lacks.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
That's interesting. All right. Well, thank you, Kwane, for sharing.
Thanks for sharing. Yeah.
You're welcome. And I just want to say, my mom passed away last Sunday. So, hi, Mom. I'm on the radio.
Aww.
All right. Well, rest in peace to her. My condolences.
Thank you.
For some parents, it hurts them more to beat their kids.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
I can't either.
Yeah.
I'm like, my mom is so soft now. I'm like, how did she do that back then?
Easily.
All right. Let's take some more calls. Chase.
Yes, how you doing?
How are you? We're talking about Tyler Perry disciplining his 8-year-old son, but what are your thoughts and what's it been like for you?
Well, like for me, like I grew up I got beat.
Right.
My parents didn't play. Now that I'm an adult, my children are mixed. And they have that different type of fear with me and respect for me as opposed to how they have with their mother.
So do you spank them or discipline them physically, or how do you discipline them?
Most definitely.
Okay.
I wouldn't be where I was today without those whoopings.
Now, is there a limit to these whippings? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, what are the guidelines?
Oh yeah, like we not getting the people involved now.
Oh,
the people,
police.
the popo. Yeah.
Yeah, we not getting them
What's the line
involved.
between abuse and a spanking?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, at what age do you stop spanking?
What age do you start?
Oh, that's a good question. What age do you start? What age do you stop?
I think my oldest son is about to turn 20, and I think he got his first spanking when he was about 6.
Oh, I thought you
Okay.
were going to say you're still spanking him. I was like, all right, now you got to
Yeah,
calm
when
down.
did it stop?
That's a fight.
When was the last whooping?
It stopped when he moved out my house.
Oh, there's like 17,
Wow.
18? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, we talking about 19. He moved out. Yeah, that's when it stopped.
And they never try to hit you back?
I was fixing to say, he trying to punch you?
He probably can whoop you, too.
Hey, I'm a pretty big guy, and I'm ex-military, so hey,
It was fear.
he's more than welcome to try it. It wouldn't have worked out in his favor, though.
I don't know. I ain't going to be 19 and you spanking me.
But if you got a
at
big
19,
buff
it
dad.
wasn't spankings no more. We was just going straight to the body now.
Y'all was
Oh, my
y'all were
gosh.
fighting. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, like if you don't want to pay bills, you don't want to respect the house. It's you either get out or you take the fade.
Oh, my goodness.
Take this fade.
All right.
Okay.
No comment. All right. Well, you guys, thanks for calling in and sharing with us. That was eye-opening. When we come back, we have Yeezy. We'll be talking about Flow Rider, what he has happening now that he won that $82.6 million. Let's break it down on Way Up with Angela Yee. Yeezy next.
Yo, she about to blow the lid up off this pot. Let's get it. Oh, yeah. Angela's spilling that yee tea.
Come and get the tea.
Yes, it is Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm here. Jasmine Brand is here.
Good morning.
Chris Witherspoon is here. Chris, what's your Instagram for people to find you too?
It's at Witherspoon C. So my last name, Witherspoon, and then my first initial C.
Okay, so you can follow him and Pop Viewers.
Yes.
All right, now Flo Rida, as we all know, won this crazy lawsuit after suing energy drink company Celsius. He got $82.6 million.
Woo.
And now he's launching his own energy drink. It's called Jet Set One. He said Celsius is great, but at the same time, he wanted to take something and make it even greater. So not only did he win this money, but now he's also going to be coming out and doing a whole brand against Celsius.
And that is more than enough money that you need to get a company off the ground. Like, he could take $8 million with his brand and his notoriety. He could get that $8 million and get that seed funding to grow his company.
And we see how much money people can make off of beverage companies. You know, so he's planning to launch this in the first quarter of 2024. He said, coming from the success of Celsius, when they had no name and the marketing was very little, I took that product and I took it worldwide. This is a thing that we want to do with Jet Set One. And he was talking to Insider exclusively.
Okay. I want to see how that tastes.
You want to try it?
Yeah, I want to try it.
They're saying it's healthy and it tastes better than every energy drink on the market and so on and so forth.
All natural ingredients.
I'm going to use that for the gym.
All right, look at us, already helping promote. And Flo Rida is also, by the way, headlining the 18th annual AIDS Walk and Music Festival. So they announced that he would partner with the organization and raise over $2 million for HIV/AIDS services.
I love that he's giving back.
And I mean, that's a walk. So I say bring your jet set to the walk. So folks can drink that.
It's not going to be ready yet.
It's not ready yet.
Yeah, not till 2024.
Bring like a prototype.
Since we're talking business, Shaq is celebrating the opening of his restaurant.
Okay.
And he, by the way, is he's making his way around Kansas City. I saw some video footage of him. You know, he DJs as Diesel.
Yes.
In the club. And when I tell you, it was ram-packed in that club. I've actually seen him DJ before.
How is he?
He's good. It was in the, he plays a lot of fist pumping music. I guess you play for whoever the audience is.
Okay.
But I was in the Bahamas at the Baha Mar, and he happened to be DJing there. And so, yeah, it was cool. So he has a new restaurant, Big Chicken, and they had a ribbon cutting Saturday afternoon ceremony at the new Kansas City International Airport Terminal in Concourse B. So congratulations to him. He's been doing this restaurant thing for a minute. Remember, we went to his restaurant
in LA Live. Yeah. My dad lives in
great.
Kansas City, so my dad has to check that out.
Right.
This
and
is
then,
at the airport, you said?
Yeah.
That's
Kansas
cool. I'd be
City.
getting hungry at the airport, and they don't really have good food there. Some fried chicken at the airport?
They don't have
Come
good food
through.
at Kansas City Airport either.
And in Atlanta, Ludacris has his restaurant in the airport.
Chicken and beer?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, that's a really smart
been
place
there.
to have good restaurants.
Yes, but I think it's kind of because you still have to pay a lot to be in the airport, so you got to make sure people come.
That's true.
They-
But
That is
so
there's
true.
always people in the airport. So.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be nice if we could have some of that in the Delta Sky Lounge, like a little
Some
pop
fried
up,
chicken?
little Ludacris chicken and beer pop up there, a little Shaq chicken
Make it
pop
happen.
up. You know, okay.
I feel like it can happen.
All right.
All right, Shaq has also, now that's the good news. And the bad news, it says that he's also been evading getting served papers for an FTX-related lawsuit for 4 weeks. According to attorneys, they're having a hard time serving him. Well, he's in Kansas City. No. But apparently, they said he's been just evading them. There's a lot of celebrities that are in this lawsuit, by the way. Tom Brady, Steph Curry, Larry David, among others. And that is all for being exposing people to misrepresentations and omissions and things like that. So, you know, it's like a cryptocurrency platform.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
So sometimes you agree and get the check and you don't really know what you're getting into.
And he over there ducking them.
Yeah. Getting
All right.
served.
Okay.
All right. And Lil Uzi Vert is addressing controversy. Some people are saying he has satanic lyrics on his new track. And so here is that one line. I make a city girl believe in Satan.
Okay.
And so when TMZ caught up with him, here's what he had to say.
Hey, what do you mean by that lyric, man? You make a city girl believe in Satan. What do you mean by that?
Not actually Satan, but just basically I make a girl do whatever I say so.
What did JT think of those lyrics?
She really didn't think too much of it. She was there when she heard me make the song. She knows what I really mean.
So it's not really about Satan?
No.
Do you believe in Satan?
No.
He said, no.
Do you believe in Satan?
No.
It's a crazy thing to yell out to somebody. But what he's saying is it's so extreme.
Right.
I mean, that's how I took it, that like I can make you believe in something so extreme.
He came from a religious background too, but he said he just likes to say whatever he wants to say, and he's really not trying to offend anyone. So.
All right. Well, there you have it. And that is your Yeetie. And when we come back, it's time for Under the Radar. These are stories that are not necessarily headline stories. They're flying under the radar, but we feel like they're important. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
got news. This in the news that relates to you. These stories are flying under the radar.
Yes, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. Jasmine Brand is here with me.
Happy Tuesday.
Chris Witherspoon is here with me also.
Good afternoon.
Check out Pop
good morning
Viewers.
still.
Yeah, depending on where you are.
Yes.
Well, I guess everywhere is still
everywhere
morning.
is still morning right now.
All right. Now, under the radar, these are stories that are not necessarily the headline stories that we're watching on the news, but they're stories that we feel like are important.
Okay.
And as we're sitting here right now, our producer, Dan, is drinking out of a reusable water bottle.
Which sounds like a great idea.
Right. It's good for the environment.
They're all the rave.
Yeah, a new study has delivered a very disturbing finding, though, and that is that these water bottles are filthy if you don't clean them regularly.
Okay.
All right. So a new recent study from US-based waterfilterguru.com found that reusable bottles can have 40,000 times more bacteria than the average toilet seat.
Oh my gosh.
It's like a portable petri dish. So they swabbed them and they found 2 types of bacteria present, and it can cause infections, and these are increasingly resistant to antibiotics.
Okay.
So they compare the cleanliness of the bottles to household objects, and it turns out that this has more bacteria, 14 times more than a pet's drinking bowl.
Oh my goodness.
That's disgusting.
That's
That's
scary.
awful.
Yeah.
But I love this news because I'm the kind of person that people always get on me for wasting water bottles because I like to have the water bottle, open it, and like have that fresh water as opposed to the water from that little thing. So this actually helps my cause.
I mean, and the main thing is clean it.
Yeah.
You know,
How often are you, I'm trying to find a
Every time.
solution.
Dishwasher clean it? Like how clean you got to get
Washing it at least once a day with hot soapy water and sanitizing it at least once a week is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Now, they do say squeeze top bottles are the cleanest of the 3 styles tested.
Okay.
Because it has a tenth of the amount of bacteria as the ones that screw off or the ones with the straw fitted lids. So
I wonder how often our EP Dan cleans his.
I'm looking at him. I'm going to guess not that often.
Okay.
Oh, he wants to speak so bad. He wants to speak, but we don't want him on our mics because there's a lot of bacteria.
Ooh, come on.
From what we know in his mouth right now.
Okay.
Moving on. Do you want to say something?
So it's a screwable one. It's the one with the top comes
Oh,
off.
not good.
I clean the top like
But
daily.
you don't clean the inside?
But the bottle itself, I only put water in it. So do you really need to clean
Yes.
but the top where I drink from, that's what gets cleaned.
No, you have to clean the whole
Can
thing.
someone get the
14
swabs right
times
now?
more than a pet's drinking bowl.
Because imagine this, right? You're putting your mouth on there. There's a little bit of backwash going in there. And that's the same bacteria that would have been on the top. So now all you're doing is...
I'll replace the water though.
You should definitely repair, but you also have to clean the inside, Dan. Is that hard?
Actually,
if you're going
it
to
is.
clean the top, why not clean
My
the
hand
whole
doesn't
thing?
fit in it. How do you clean? Like,
Because they have
It's like
those
a
brushes.
tool
They
you
have
have to
brushes.
get. Yep,
Just like
yep.
how you clean a
We're
baby
trying
bottle.
to save your life.
They have brushes for that. Okay, go ahead.
Somebody get a swab.
Does anyone drink
and
out of
test
a
this.
water fountain anymore?
No.
You know, in the gym, once in a blue moon, I
child.
will take my bottle and put the bottle in the water fountain. But even then, I'm a little bit nervous about it.
I don't even like when people do that.
Stop it immediately.
The bottle water thing.
Yes, I don't know why I don't like that.
Stop it immediately.
I'm in trouble.
I'm a
y'all.
germaphobe, though.
I am too. This
Just to keep it
study
real.
has changed my
Chris,
life.
it doesn't
Like,
sound like you're germaphobe
I mean,
based on that.
clearly not enough. I just don't want to black out. You know what I mean? If I can't get to the bottle of water fast enough, I got to get to the
I always wonder, why do people wash their hands after they go to the bathroom and not also before?
Oh, I do it both times.
Yeah, you got to do it
before
both
and after,
times.
Well,
especially at the gym.
Well, I only wash mine after. I'm gonna be honest. I don't wash my hands before
Yeah,
I go
most
to the
people
bathroom.
don't.
Yeah, I do it after, but not before.
Especially guys, you got to touch it.
Right? No, you
yeah.
really want to make sure that you scrub it
Chris,
up.
you wash before you go to the
My
bathroom?
grandfather told me that when I was a little boy.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
He works
You
on the
teach
railroad.
your son that too?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Both
Wash
times.
before and after.
All
Okay.
right. Okay.
Well, that is your Under the Radar. Now, when we come back, we do have the Way Up mix at the top of the hour. Plus, we have a special guest joining us today, Stratis Morfogen. He has a book out called Be a Disruptor. If you've heard of Brooklyn Chop House, it's an amazing restaurant. There's 2 of them here that people go to all the time. But he also started Philippe's back in the day. And
Wow.
Philippe's is
I
a
love
very
Philippe's.
popular restaurant. But he's got a lot of drama with that. He's going to talk about all of that on Way Up with Angela Yee.
They say it's truth in the rumors.
From industry shade to all the gossip. Angela's spilling that Yee tea.
All right, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee. Jasmine Brand is here.
Good morning or
And-
afternoon. Sorry.
Yeah, good afternoon, wherever
Yeah.
you are. Chris Witherspoon is here. Thank
Happy
you, Chris.
Tuesday. I'm still in line.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
All right, so it's time for your Yee tea. Now, let's discuss Diplo. Diplo was recently on a podcast. help me with her name, Emily Ratajkowski. Is that how
That's
I say it?
perfect. Yep.
Okay, Emily Ratajkowski's podcast. And he was talking about a situation he had where he's gotten oral sex from a man before. Here's what he had to say.
Sure, I've got a from a guy before.
You're sure that's happened?
Yeah.
And you just don't remember?
I mean, like, I don't know if it's gay unless you, like, make eye contact while there's the blow.
That's such a straight guy thing to say.
But it's, I mean, getting is not that gay, I think.
I don't know. You tell me.
All right, so
I don't know if it's a gay if it's gay
if you don't make eye contact.
Unless you make eye contact.
So does that mean it never happened?
I've never heard this before. The whole eye contact thing. This is very new to me in my community.
Okay.
I don't think it makes him gay. I think it makes him something. Like, there's all these new terms now, like
what is
fluid.
Okay.
I think it's more along the lines of fluid, or maybe
so that
even,
fluid made him fluid.
There we go. I think even bi maybe, but that's very open-minded for him to come on a podcast and say all of that.
It's hard because like people don't want to label themselves.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't
anymore. Sometimes you try something and then
if you try it one time, but it sounds like it probably happened more than one time.
And how far did it go? That's the other part I'm curious about.
Well, we know one thing didn't happen. It was no eye contact.
Ooh,
right.
That's true.
Yeah.
And so I feel like eye contact is a connection. So maybe he's saying there was no connection.
Yeah.
Or also it means he can pretend like it didn't happen. Like he doesn't even really know it was a man down there because he wasn't physically seeing the guy.
Yeah, because he also said that he's sure he has, but he's not. But he doesn't remember much.
Yeah. So he's maybe a little gay or a little bi.
Can you be a little gay?
Yeah, I think so.
That's a good question, actually. I think you could be a little bi.
You could be a little bi.
When you gay, you all the way gay. Ooh, I'm adding a
Chris
little
said
extra.
if you're gay, you're all the way gay. Okay.
You all the way gay, all the way up.
All the way gay.
With Angela Yee.
All right, but that's fine. So maybe a little bit. So
I'm proud of him for saying that, though. I'm really proud of him for coming out and saying that's a very hard thing to say.
Yeah.
You know, with the podcast.
But he's also a white man, so I feel like for black men, it would probably be even harder to say. If you know, if a black man is.
But he's also very in this space of like Caribbean, like a lot of his music, Major Lazer.
Yeah.
You know.
But I think you're right. I think that being able to experiment with your sexuality, it is a privilege, and white people are more privileged to feel that they can kind of color outside the line sometimes.
Yes.
Women and men. You see so many white girls in fraternities, sororities. You know.
Yeah. And women
colleges.
have the freedom to experiment a lot more than men do.
We
period.
do. That's the point you were
With
making
sexuality.
off air. You were saying that when women do it, we don't really. It's not so much of a big deal.
It's kind of like it was college.
Yep.
All right, now let's talk about Finesse 2 times. He was on Lip Service, and that episode is actually out today.
Okay.
And one of the things that he discussed is his relationship now. He actually has 3 girlfriends, maybe 2, but 3.
Okay.
You know, I'm in a polygamy. Like I gotta have more than one woman.
But they know about each other.
Yeah, we stay together.
Oh. How many women?
3.
Oh. So Finesse 3 times.
Okay. They get along. They're friends.
I mean, it's kind of. You got the.
Do you have a favorite? He does.
I don't think he can answer that.
I can't.
Usually it's the first wife.
It was a lot of sighing.
Yeah, he was like, but he does get very in depth with it.
Yeah.
I want to hear from the women, from the wives.
One of them was actually there, but she wasn't in the interview though.
Yeah, she was definitely making sure that he said the right thing.
Yeah.
Okay, she would stand up.
Yeah.
And then another thing he talked about, so if you guys remember, this went viral and people were actually going in on him because he gifted his friend who they said took his charges, right? That was the post. He gave him $5,000 and some people were like, yo, this man took charges for you and did time for you.
Right.
And all you did was give him $5,000. Here's what he had to say about that.
I didn't say that he took a charge for me and went and did 10, 11 years for me. I said that he did 10 years, and while we was incarcerated, me and him, we was sellers. And when they kicked the door in, I had some illegal shit in the cell, and he took the charge for me in jail.
Okay, gotcha. Got it.
You see what I'm saying?
I got it, yeah.
So that was a sign of loyalty for me.
All right, so he got an extra 60 days.
But the way it sounded when we saw it on social media, it sounded like he did 10 years for you, and
I will say,
you gave him
extra
5
60
checks.
days, you need a little more than 5,000.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't want to do
Another 60
extra
days,
I don't want to
2 months.
You know, Ange, I would do 1 extra day for you.
I wouldn't even do that for you. I'm out.
Keep it 100.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Angela.
One extra day, I'm trying to go home.
Okay, all right, Angela. I know where we stand now.
All right, well, that is your Yee tea. Yeah, but thank you.
Thanks for nothing.
It is Women's History Month, so when we come back, yes, we will be celebrating some women, and a real woman would not make you take an extra day for her. A real friend wouldn't do that, but it is Women's History Month, so we're going to celebrate that. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Celebrating the ladies during Women's History Month.
Yes, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. Jasmine Brand is here with me.
I'm here.
And of course, Chris Witherspoon is here.
I am so honored to be here right now, y'all. This is a highlight.
We're so happy to have you, by the way. I mean, he's interviewed Oprah several times. Tom Hanks, Will Smith. Who are some of the other people you've interviewed?
Denzel Washington, Daniel Kaluuya.
Oh, my goodness.
Halle Berry. Everybody in Hollywood.
All
Meryl
right.
Streep.
And now you're here.
And now I'm here.
What a downgrade.
With
No,
the Oprah of radio. I said it earlier, y'all. Angela Yee is the Oprah of radio. She needs to receive that.
He's setting me up for
She needs to receive
being
that.
attacked.
Angela Winfrey.
There we go. I like
the
that.
Oprah
I like
Winfrey
that.
of radio.
But it is Women's History Month, and we do want to celebrate some amazing women. Now, I know you're really good friends with Joy-Ann Reid.
Yes, I'm celebrating Joy today. Like, Joy-Ann Reid is the Oprah of politics, in my opinion. And she is just someone, y'all, that is... She's a trailblazer, the first black woman to have her own primetime cable news show, number one,
Say
to
that.
read out, say that. But also, as a grind and as a former boss of mine at the Griot, where I worked for many years, entertainment editor over there, she is the person that got me on camera. No one initially, I think, really saw me in that light until Joy said, okay, I'm your managing editor. I want you to begin doing entertainment segments for the Today Show, for MSNBC, and I'm going to fight for you to do so. So she's not just talent. She's not just a star, but she's someone who's a star maker. And I salute her today for that.
She's also from New York. Yeah. She went to Harvard.
Come on, Harvard.
And and she is a Sag because her birthday is December 8th.
Okay.
Yes.
And she's also an author.
She's so many things.
Yeah.
And she had a career in radio before she came to MSNBC, so she knows all of this world too.
Yes. And what I love about Joy-Ann Reid is she just keeps it funky all the time, says what she thinks, because I've seen her getting attacked.
Yes.
You know, for her opinion or saying something, and people get mad. And that's not an easy space to be in. Politics is worse than, I feel like, anything.
Yeah,
people can be savage. The things that she gets on Twitter and social media in general from people on the right, sometimes I'm like, ooh, where's security?
Yeah, exactly.
Not for nothing. She wrote a book in 2019, The Man Who Sold America, Trump and the Unraveling of American Story.
She's
No wonder she goes back and forth
fearless.
with folks about politics.
All right, and the person that I wanted to celebrate today is Phyllis Johnson.
Okay.
Now, y'all know I have a coffee company. It's called Coffee Uplifts People, and Phyllis Johnson has been an invaluable asset to us.
Okay.
She's an entrepreneur, an author, an activist, but she also has her own importing company called BD Imports that she founded back in 1999. So she's been working here in this space for a long time. And in 2020, she founded the Coffee Coalition for Racial Equity. And there's a lot of racial injustice and unrest going on around us, but in the coffee business, it's really tough. If you think about where coffee beans come from, it's all black and brown places.
Yes. That is
It's
so
a large
true.
percentage of women who are farmers, but we're talking about ownership. We're talking about opportunity, finances. A lot of times people aren't getting paid properly. That's why when you see fair trade on coffee, that's to make sure that people aren't getting pennies on the dollar who are working in these farms and working behind the scenes. And so with her company, BD Imports, again, I told you she's had this since 1999.
Right.
It's been a pathway for new discoveries and enlightenment. She says not just for herself and her family, but for others. It's the first company often to engage with women coffee entrepreneurs and producers in various countries, or to inspire entrepreneurs in our own country. So she said sometimes the best thing that one can be is a good representation or inspiration for others. As a black woman in the green coffee trade, I've stood out and been noticed by others who also stood out in their own way.
Come on, Phyllis.
I love it. She's from rural. I can't say rural.
Rural.
Say it again.
Rural.
This is fun watching you do this.
Arkansas. Struggling to
But,
say
someone
rural.
once told me this when I was going to college. If you don't see the example, be the example.
Exactly.
And I feel like that is what Phyllis is doing. She is being the example.
And she's somebody I actually personally have gone to.
Oh, really?
Wow. For like
You know,
advice?
Yeah, just for
Okay.
that. Also for her knowledge. We've been working with her now as an importer. So we've actually wanted to make sure with Coffee Uplifts People, we have a black woman who's a roaster. And then we have Phyllis, who's our importer.
I would watch a documentary about her. Like, I feel like watching the life of the beans, and like also like the women you talked about who are, oftentimes the farm owners. I would Netflix and chill the coffee out of that.
The coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm reading about her now. She's dope.
Yeah, because a lot of times we talk about equity, we talk about inclusion, and
yes.
so she is the example, because you know how the coffee industry can be. Even here, I feel like in the United States, they really market to middle-aged white men.
Yep.
And so for somebody like Phyllis Johnson to try to level out the playing field and also make sure that things are more equitable and have more access, I think that's important. So we're all trying to take these tangible steps to help improve racial equality when it comes to coffee. It's a huge deal.
Where can you find the fair trade thing you mentioned? I want to start doing
When you
that.
look at coffee, you can see if there's a fair trade stamp on there.
I learned about that with you.
All right, well, that is our Women's History Month. Shout out to Phyllis Johnson and BD Imports. And when we come back, we have another entrepreneur, Stratis Morfogen. You guys are going to love his story. He is definitely mob affiliated, and he has no problem talking about it.
Right.
But he's also a restaurateur. The restaurant business is a tough one, and so he talks about being a disruptor in his space. His story is amazing. If you've ever been to Philippe's, he started Philippe's, Brooklyn Chop House. We see that all the time out here. So check it out. Way Up with Angela Yee.
Now I'm back at it.
You vibing Way Up with Angela Yee.
Yes, it is Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine Brand is here with me.
What's up?
And also Chris Witherspoon.
Hey, I'm on the way up, y'all.
And Chris is, what would I say your title is?
So, founder and CEO of Pop Viewers, we're an entertainment app in the Apple App Store right now, and also entertainment journalist for NBC News and MSNBC.
All right, let's not play no games. All right.
Spit them titles
I'm
off.
from ready to go.
Now, one thing you said earlier, though, that we were talking so fast about things.
Yes.
You were talking about your son, right?
Yep.
And your son is 11.
Yes.
And then you said that you and your friend had an agreement, and that's how everything
Yes.
happened. You ended
Oprah
up having
Radio.
a kid.
She better come with she listens.
So talk to me about this agreement, because you know we're always like, okay, so if I don't have a kid and you don't have a kid,
I know about this. Okay,
Okay,
great.
so
All
my best friend. This is a great New York story. I was working at this hotel, Soho Grand, about 15 years ago after being an NBC page. So I was kind of like trying to find myself, figure out what's next for Chris Witherspoon. And my friend was my supervisor at the hotel.
Okay.
She's from the DR, and I never met anybody from the DR. I'm from a small town in Ohio. And jokingly, within knowing her for 1 week, she said, "You know, Chris, I always thought about having a kid, but I never knew how I was going to do it.
Okay.
And I feel like you'd be an amazing father. Would you be down to have a kid with me?" She told me she had a dream about me.
Okay.
And I was like, it was overnight, overnight, 3 a.m, working overnight, you get delirious. And I was like, sure, why not? And then she kept talking about it. We became roommates, and we are both a part of the LGBTQ plus community. So yeah, we just went half on a baby, and we raised the child together as roommates for a year.
Wow.
Then we have our own places, and we both have our own. She has a girlfriend, I have a boyfriend right now.
Neil.
Neil.
When you and I first met, I remember you telling me this, Chris, and I've never heard of I don't know anyone that has had this similar kind of setup. So I was very.
You know what's funny? MTV reached out to us when she was pregnant. Someone that I knew heard our story and reached out to me. And we didn't do a story. I was like, or a documentary. I think it's my son's story to tell. The whole nuances of how we created him and things. Just know
he's
that
already
we half on a
famous,
baby.
too.
Yeah.
He's a meme, y'all.
He's already a meme.
If you go to Embracing Black Culture right now, they posted him last week. It's a picture I took of him at the beach. And if someone knows how to monetize this, y'all, please DM me at Witherspoon.
Y'all just using memes of his son. He not getting no money from it.
I'm gonna put him on coffee for the people. I think it should be like on a can of coffee, something.
Oh my goodness.
But I love that. So she had a dream.
She had a dream, and she was, as when you're someone from certain communities and you can't afford to go to the, whatever the different places are for surrogacy or in vitro fertilization, you have to get creative.
Right.
And then it's good that you're still in the child's life too.
Oh my God, my son is my everything.
Yeah, that's your son. You're always like, my son. Sometimes
and he knows
I
our
talk to him in the
stories.
background.
Yeah, he knows our stories, and he's so proud of us. And I love that we could put him out in the world, and he gets to be kind of like, in these rooms and in these conversations with young people, kind of telling his story.
How long did you all know each other before you decided to?
Well, I knew her for a week when she asked me.
When she asked, but then you did it.
I'm talking about how long did you know each other before you?
We became roommates for 4 years. We were roommates.
Okay, that's a good time.
And then things got real because she had uterine fibroids, and so they had to remove them. The doctor was like, "All right, in 1 year, y'all got to get pregnant."
Okay, all right.
So we did.
Timeline, we love it. All right, well, thank you for sharing that story. I love it.
Thank you for letting me,
All right, and that is Chris Witherspoon talking about his 11-year-old Andres.
Yes.
Andres. Okay. And when we come back, Stratis Morfogen is going to be joining us. He's an author. He's a disruptor, and his book is all about that. But he also has a brand new restaurant that just opened, and he also owns Brooklyn Chop House, founded Philippe's, been in the restaurant business since he was 6. It's fascinating. Way Up with Angela Yee.
Way Up with Angela Yee is back to set off your workday. Turn the music up.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. Jasmine Brand is here with me. And Stratis, I've never pronounced your last name. Morfogen?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, Morfogen.
Okay, Morfogen.
Yeah.
Stratis Morfogen is here with us. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, he has this book out. It's called Be a Disruptor. And it's streetwise lessons for entrepreneurs from the mob to the mandates. But we all know Stratis, I think, in general, just for being one of the owners of Brooklyn Chop House. But what people may not have known is that he also was one of the owners of Philippe's.
I didn't know that.
Okay, so we got to get into some of these lessons from this book because you've been in the restaurant business since you were 6 years old. Now, one of the things that you learn from an early age is discretion. Discretion is really important when it comes to owning a restaurant and being in that business. So you learned that in an early age. Explain that, because this is actually a mob story that you guys would love to hear.
Yeah, so my dad had the Chelsea Chop House. One of them was in Howard Beach, and about 6, 7 years old, I was a busboy. And the first lesson of discretion I had was when there was a little diminutive guy used to come in with a lot of big guys around him, and they used to go very discreet. My father would drop what he was doing. I was like, wow, who is this guy that my father looks at with such reverence, And then he would go sit him down. Then I hear him tell the manager, just get Mr. Gambino's drink.
Wow.
And it was Carlo Gambino, the boss of the Gambino family. And, so here's a little short busboy who's really not shy. I'm walking up to his table and, I start pouring water and I say, hi, Mr. Gambino.
And no one says his name.
You could hear a pin drop. And, I felt so weird. Like, what did I do wrong? I'm just being nice. That's what because my father actually calls him sir. So after he puts me down on his knee and he talks to me, he goes, hey, how's school? Like a grandfather. And he slips a $20 bill in my pocket. And he just says, next time, high is enough. And I'm like, all right. I have no idea what I did, but I'll keep taking the 20s and I'll just say hi. And then, so as I can see my father peeking around the table going, oh my God, Stratis is sitting with the gangsters, and I'm living there for 10 minutes. And so as I get up, my father goes, come here. What was that about? I said, Dad, I don't know what I did. I just said, hi, Mr. Gambino. He goes, oh, my God, this guy goes so far out of his way to be discreet.
Right.
And here comes this 6-year-old chubby busboy. He knows exactly who you are. And I saw when I left the table, they all started laughing. It was so innocently done, but it was very funny. And there was a lot of lessons to learn there because, like I do say in my book, fast forward, 2006 is 2 lessons I learned. I just opened Philippe Chow on my honeymoon in Mykonos. And I get a call from, I think it was the Inquirer or something. They said, we're offering you $1 million for the tape. And I said, what tape? And they're like, there's a tape, and they mentioned the names, which I'm not going to mention. And they were having sex in your restaurant.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm
Philippe's
like,
lit.
so I'm like, so I call my managers right away and I'm like, what happened? So a hip hop mogul and a Hollywood starlet were having sex in one of the private rooms at Philippe, and they noticed that we had security cameras. And I said to the manager, get on the security cameras and tell me what you see. He's like, oh, Mr. Morfogen, I can't look at this. This is serious.
I can't stop looking at it.
Yeah. He's like, yes, so-and-so reserved the whole room last night to have a private dinner. And I'm like, do me a favor before I even get an inch of temptation, delete it off the server.
Right.
Get rid of it.
Yeah.
That's not how I do business.
Yeah.
Because if you would have leaked that out, that's something that could destroy your
Correct.
business.
And that's not the way I've become successful.
Right now, we're talking to Stratis Morfogen. He's the author of Be a Disruptor, but also the guy who started Philippe's, that amazing restaurant, and now has one of my favorites, Brooklyn Chop House. Now, another thing, because this is streetwise lessons from entrepreneurs, from the mob to the mandates, right? This book that you have about being a disruptor.
Yeah.
You also talk about your relationship with so many people from the mob who come into your restaurants, and how some of them actually might be more stand-up than people who work, say, for the government or in politics.
Yeah, so in 1993, well, put it this way, so now I know most of the mob because they run the Fulton Fish Market. And they're like extended family to me. I mean, I never looked at them as like they were criminals. So here I go, I opened up my restaurant in 93 called Gotham Diner. And at that time, I became very close with like Ralph Coppola, who was the underboss of the Genovese family. And these guys were friends of mine, Bucky Carbone. and they were just customers, and they paid their bill.
They didn't ever make you pay them. You said nothing like that.
Nothing like it. They were my friends. And there was always like a mutual respect. So in 93, 94, it became like the hottest place. And then at the time, I opened Rouge nightclub. So
That's where he turned away, by the way, Madonna and Tupac.
The nerve of you. We need to hear that story after.
Okay.
Continue this story and let's go back. Let's circle back to that.
So getting back to my book. My book is a story of inspiration and a journey of an entrepreneur. But it's not the typical book that you would read where it's all based on analytics. It's basically like, I f***ed up, and this is what I did to fix it. So all my analytics are supported by true life stories.
And lessons.
Yeah, and that's why it's hit a nerve with a lot of people, because I actually beat myself up in the book quite a bit, because I want people to learn from my mistakes and how I handled it. Well, let me go back a little bit. So when I opened up Gotham Diner, to answer the question regarding how I got involved with organized crime.
Not like that.
So what happened was so I became friends with the heads of the Genovese family, and they were my friends. But simultaneously, I had John Gotti Jr. beating up my managers, his crew. And then they finally came to see me. They wanted $10,000 a month, or they were going to break all my windows. So I told them. So every night they're throwing black paint all over my windows. And every morning I would clean it up. So Ralph Coppola and those guys saw me one day clean that. What is this? I said, well, John Gotti Jr. and those guys want a payment, and I'm not doing it, and this is what I get. Sit tight. So literally like 6 hours later, they said, go to Ferrier Bistro on 65th and Madison, which I knew was a Gambino hangout. Go there 11 o'clock tonight. We're gonna squash this thing. So I get there at 11 o'clock at night, and you can see all the suits in the back, which were all the Gambino heads. And I know these guys, and they're always really good to me. I just hate the John Gotti Jr. and those guys. They're all a bunch of thugs. And I had no problem saying it in the 90s, and I still can say it today.
It's in the book.
Yeah, not afraid. And
clearly.
So what happened was I get to this meeting, and it's like something out of like Goodfellas had just come out. I'm like, wow, this is like my life now? I'm like at a sit down, and then Ralph's like, listen, he's my nephew. He's around us. Tell Junior next time he comes near him, come correct, or we're going to have a problem. And then he goes, Rafi, I didn't know. I'm here. I didn't know. I said, the next time you walk into that restaurant, which you're going to do this week, you're going to pay. And you're going to bring all your friends in. You're going to pay. And you're going to support that restaurant. And if you ever go there again and cause any trouble, I promise you, the next time we see each other, I'm going to have you crawl on the floor like the dog that you are. And I'm going to kick you in the ass until you bark in front of all these people.
Oh my gosh.
And I was just like,
very descriptive.
Oh, yeah, and that's exactly what happened. I'm like, all of a sudden, I think I grew 6 inches as I'm walking out the door. I'm like, wow, I got friends like this. So as I'm talking to my dad the next day about what happened, he's like, well, you may have just exchanged one devil for the other.
And I would be thinking that too.
Yeah, and the truth be told, it's not true.
Right.
No, these guys.
Because that's what you would think from watching movies.
Like, we're protecting you now, you got to pay us.
Right.
These guys continued to come to Gotham Diner, and basically they continued to pay. And they would never hear of it. I think the first time I tried to take the check, it's like, no. Put the check down. And they always pay with a credit card, which is really funny. You think mob's always paying with cash.
I would think cash.
No, all credit card. They want
These movies are fooling us.
They wanted a paper trail that, you know what? We're just legal. We just like this kid, and there's nothing attached.
Right.
And everything stopped.
All right, that's Stratis Morfogen. We'll be back with some more. When we come back, we'll discuss Madonna and Tupac and how he did not let them in the club. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Hey. Yeah, she back at it. Bring in the Mac. Way Up with Angela Yee is on.
It's Way Up with Angela Yee and Stratis Morfogen, author of Be a Disruptor and also restaurateur, Brooklyn Chop House, Philippe's, all of that is here with us. And we got some questions. Now, let's get back to this Tupac and Madonna
that's exactly
story.
what I was about to ask.
We have to do that. So you open up Rouge nightclub.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody's coming here. It's the hot spot.
Yeah. No, this is actually the night before the grand opening, Julia Koch came to me and said, I want to throw a birthday party for my husband, David Koch, who is the energy conglomerate and, multi-billionaire family. And I said, wow, that's a great way to open it. Because the only celebrity I knew at the time was Susan Lucci, because I grew up in Garden City. I didn't know.
To Susan Lucci.
Yeah, actually, I saw her last week. She looks amazing. But she's like the only celebrity I ever knew. I didn't know what a celebrity was. And actually, the young kids that I met at Gotham Diner, they weren't celebrities yet. David Blaine's and all this. They were all working for me for $100 a night, but they weren't celebrities.
Wow.
So here I opened up the nightclub, and I told, like, my big fat Greek wedding, that's my family. I said, doesn't matter who comes to the door tonight, no one's coming in. this is Thursday night. They could all come on Friday. And it's a black tie event. You've got like Henry Kissinger and Murdoch's. It's who's who of Fifth Avenue and Park Avenue for David Koch's birthday party. So putting that, my Nextel, this is before the internet. The Nextel going up. And I'm like, what? They're like, you have to come to the front. There's someone trying to get in. I said, if they're not on the list, they're not coming in. They're like, you're making this call. I'm not making the call. That's what my security said.
Okay.
And this time I'm so intoxicated at this time. And I'm just like, oh my God. I'm thinking it's like, maybe one of my cousins pretending to be a countess or something. So I get to the front and there's, a black guy there, gold chains, looking pretty cool, but not for tonight. There's a little blonde girl with a bomber jacket and a Yankee hat. And I look at them and I go, and I turn on, they're like, Stratis. I'm like, no, I don't want to hear it. There's all like black tie in there. No, I don't want to hear. I don't care who they are. And I walked away. So the next morning here around 7 a.m., I saw that David Koch's party got some press. I was like, all right, cool. They're like, bro, look at page 2. The picture of me going like this, and it says "New Kid on the Block rejects Tupac and Madonna."
And going like this is him saying like cutting his neck.
Yeah, no way.
Never.
Yeah. So
wow.
But that's not bad press.
No, so I didn't.
It makes it really exclusive.
Yeah, and I'm not. I'm like Forrest Gump of clubs right now. It was a total mistake, and I had thought, oh my God, I just ruined my club. I don't understand press at the time. I'm 25 years old, but obviously, you know what happened. Is they were like, who is this guy? Who is this guy, Stratis? Then Nile Rodgers calls me a week later. And he's like, bro, she wants to come back. Are we cool? And I'm like, I'm not worthy. This is crazy. So I'm like, Nile, as long as she dresses right, we're cool.
The nerve of this guy. As long as he dresses right.
We're cool.
Where was Madonna?
I'm like this. And so she comes with Sam Cassell. Sam Cassell now is playing for the Houston Rockets, and the Houston Rockets are playing the Knicks. This is June '94. She comes in, she's gracious. She's like, I'm sorry. I go, no. I'm like, sorry. I'm like, no, sit down. Whatever. I got her champagne, closed the curtain. They were having like a little dinner, a little, rendezvous, whatever. I thought it was over. We're all friends. Everything is good. I saved my club. But meanwhile, the buzz on the street was, wow, we got to go to this place. I mean,
of course.
How do you reject like the hottest couple of the moment? Someone again, the Nextel starts going off. Put on ET on channel 2, I think it was CBS. I'm like, oh, what did I do now? I put on 2, and Sam Cassell's wife is throwing all his clothes out of the second-story window.
There you go. Good job,
Stratis. Pictures came out with Madonna leaving with Sam Cassell from my nightclub.
Oh, my goodness.
So that's how I became the Forrest Gump of nightclubs.
I know you have a book, but I feel like you need a movie.
We need a series.
So exciting enough.
Definitely, yeah, we need a
Oh, here it comes. Hold on.
Exciting enough.
Okay.
There are 2 options. Thanks.
Okay, is it like a series or a movie?
Yeah, that's what they're discussing now. Like, is it a Sex and the City type thing for business and street smarts, or is it like a docuseries?
And Sex and the City. Speaking of which, there's a connection there. I'm not going to give it all away though, because you guys do have to get the book to even see. This is not even the tip of the iceberg of all the things that you'll learn and be a disruptor. But honestly, like just knowing you from when I first met you and how great you've been just as a person that is like owning a restaurant in this business of service, because it is a service business. It matters a lot. You've always been really amazing.
Thank you.
But Stratis, again, thank you so much, and much love to your partners. And Dampu is a great friend of mine too. I talk to him about business all the time.
He's a genius.
Be a Disruptor is available now. And anything else that we missed?
No,
a lot.
We got through 3 of the 15 chapters.
Right. We'll have you back. Well, thank you, Stratis, again. I appreciate you.
And thank you always supporting us. Thanks, Angela.
All right. And I like to support because they got some good food, and Jasmine and I like to eat. But we do have Ask Ye when we come back. 800-292-5150 is the number. Any question you want to ask, we are here to help. Again, that's 800-292-5150. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Everybody, whether it's relationship or career advice, Angela's dropping facts.
You should know.
This is Ask Ye.
What's up is Way Up with Angela Yee, and it's time for Ask Ye. 800-292-5150 is the number. And remember, any question you have, we are here to help. If you can't get through, you can always use that number and leave a voicemail, 800-292-5150. And right now we have B on the line.
Hi, how are you guys? How are you guys doing today?
Good. How are you? You sound nice and happy and lifted up.
I'm blessed and highly favored. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So what is your question for Ask Ye?
Okay, you guys. So I am divorced. I've been single for 1 year and 5 months now. I have been talking to someone, taking it very slow.
Okay.
Finally got physical, but the physical part of it just didn't
reach what I thought it would. He's a total gentleman and everything. We have great dates. We have great time spending together, but I can't feel anything.
It's a size thing.
There's nothing you could really do about his size. Does he do other things that pleasure you?
So, yes, I was going to say, oral, yes, but after that, once you're excited, you want to go full in.
Yes. Girl, we know.
So it's like once I get there, I don't know what to do. And I didn't have multiple conversations, but he's so sweet. He's just like, well, let's try something else to work on it. Let's try to work on it.
At least she talked to him.
Right. Yeah, at least you were able to have an open conversation.
I love to just communicate with whoever I'm with, but I feel like I'm kind of like messing up his ego a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure, because it's something that he can't really help. Everything else that he can do, like you said, he's great at. But that's one thing. He was born this particular way, and unfortunately, sexually, it's not compatible with you. So do you feel like, could you see yourself being with him in a permanent relationship?
So in my mind, I don't just date to date. I let them know beforehand, I'm looking for, in the future, something serious. I'm not in the mood to, play games. So now I think, more so towards the future. So say when it's a couple years, it's time to have kids. How am I going to be comfortable with having the kids if I can't feel it? And then my therapist said maybe I'll grow into it, but I never experienced just growing into it.
I just feel like you can't force it. And if it's not there and something's missing that's important to you, if it didn't matter to you that much, I would say work with it. If you were like, I can deal with it. It's fine. He still pleases me. Yeah. But it feels like you're not okay and you don't want to settle for something that you're not okay with. And we're not here to try to convince you. And I get it. Like maybe you feel guilty. Maybe you feel like, damn, everything else is so great on
I feel very guilty because I'm just like, how us as women will pray for things in a relationship, and when it comes and it's just one thing that's not missing, is it right to just leave them alone, or is it okay to worry about your self-happiness and what you want?
And your self-happiness is number one right now. Let me just say that. It's not about trying to make the other person happy. If you're not happy, how are you going to make the other person happy?
Next time in your prayer, you gotta be more specific too.
Yeah.
Lord, let him fill me.
Yeah. Because he told me that if I stop talking to him for this reason, then it's my loss.
That's what he said. I mean, what else is he supposed to say?
He's right.
Yeah.
It is your loss because somebody else will be fine with that and be okay with it, and you're just not. And you can never, and I had to learn this myself, you can never force yourself to be okay with something that you're not okay with.
Yeah.
Everybody else might be like, girl, you crazy. Oh, it's not, but you know how you feel.
Yeah.
And clearly you feel it. You feel this so much that you're like, this ain't gonna work. And you were married for so long, you deserve happiness. You just
all the things that go with happiness.
Yeah, you deserve what makes you happy. And there's certain things you can compromise on, and that's not one of them.
Oh my goodness. Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, keep us updated, please.
I will, I promise.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
All right, B, keep inching towards the right man, because I'm feeling like that's not it. And when we come back, we have the last word. 800-292-5150. In case you couldn't get through, you can always leave a message. We'd love to hear from you. And y'all know you guys open and close the show. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Pick up the phone. Tap in. Tap in and get your voice heard. What the word is. Here's the last word on Way Up with Angela Yee.
Yes, it is Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine Brand is here with me. I love the little cool down.
Yeah, Angela, I love this.
All right. Also, I got my guy Chris Witherspoon here with me today.
Chris, say hello.
Hey, I'm vibing right now. I'm in denial that this is coming to an end right now, just so you guys know.
You're
I'm
coming
in
back
denial.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Chris is,
if you insist,
Chris is
I'll be
coming back
back
tomorrow.
I enjoy having you here so much, Chris. And make sure you guys check out his app. By the way, Pop Viewers.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Please
really why
download
we
us.
know each other, too.
That is really it.
Yeah.
We came together because she is a brilliant entrepreneur. She is someone you want to pick her brain before you do anything great in life.
She's
in
also
the business world.
She's also the Oprah Winfrey of radio.
Come on.
Listen to this. Listen
I coined that term. I own it, y'all. This is not Angela saying it. I'm saying
that.
I'm giving her these flowers. She is the Oprah of radio.
Angela Winfrey.
I'm over here just looking at my credit.
Ooh, I know it's good.
It's great.
What we buying?
It is great. I sent Angela my credit score over the weekend. She's like, we buying something, girl.
I know.
on.
That's how I am, though. I'm like, okay, what we buying? What we got?
What building we buying? What block we buying? That's how she rolls.
People were all talking about these bank collapses and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know there was a lot of false information. In case you missed it, we did have Art Hogan on yesterday, chief market strategist, and he was giving us a lot of information. So check that out. Also, Stratis Morfogen joined us today from Brooklyn Chop House, founder of Brooklyn Chop. We love founders.
Oh, we going to the Chop House now.
Yes, and Philippe's.
Yes.
All right, and so, yes.
Okay.
What were you going to say, Jasmine?
I was going to say that I love the way Art tells a story.
Mm-hmm.
No, Art is from the Stratis. Yeah.
Oh, I was like, Art?
No,
I was like,
I love the way Art breaks things down as if I'm a kindergartner, and I appreciate that.
All right, well, we needed that because it's very complicated, so I'm not going to lie. But anyway, we want to make sure that you guys have the last word today. 800-292-5150 is the number. Let's hear your last words.
Hey, what's up? Angela Yee and crew. It's from Virginia Beach, and I did not expect to like this show as much as I did. I mean, I listened to, on YouTube, Angela Way Up. I listened to The Breakfast Club. And I'm actually starting to listen to this show more than The Breakfast Club. So, you know, no shade. I love everybody. But the vibe on this show is rocking. So keep up the good work. I like this show more than I expected to. So you guys keep doing what you're doing.
What's up? This your boy D Riot calling from Savannah, Georgia. Man, I want to shine a light on my whole city. Cause we about to have St. Patrick's down here this weekend, and it's about to be lit. We hosting over 1 million people in the city this weekend. It's your boy D Riot testing in the hyena. Huh?
Yo, what up, Angela Yee? It's Scully calling from Greenhaven Correctional Facility, man. The niggas in here listen to you too, man. So shout us out on the radio, man. You pass our day by. We locked in 19 hours a day, man. So make sure you shout all the dudes that's locked up in Greenhaven out, man. One.
I heard about the whippings or disciplining your child. I just wanted to say that Tyler Perry wasn't the only one that experienced the same thing. I got a whooping or beating, whatever you want to call it, every time I did something wrong. And I feel like as a mother now, explanation and talking to a child is more beneficial than just whooping their ass every time they do something wrong. My son is 5, and his dad's I'm a little soft on him, but I feel as though if you talk to a child and you get them to comprehend, a popping or a spanking should be the last resort.
Way Up with Angela Yee.